Many Aucklanders drive along State Highway 16 every day, but very few notice an island beneath the motorway on Waterview Bay. Traherne Island was once privately owned, but the government took over in the 1950s to build the motorway on it. Now the 13 hectares of mud and scrub is considered a very rare wetland area. Kent C. is one of the forest and bird volunteers who initiated the restoration of the island, located within the Motu Manawa Marine Reserve.
There's a couple of different tracks going inside the island because Traherne is also used as different tracks. So what we're looking at here, it's one of the most endangered regional plants, a Mimulus ripon. This is one of the endangered native species that actually brought in the attention of the Department of Conservation. It's not a very glamorous-looking plant, but ecologically it does represent the quality of the water. Have you ever done any...
Kent has been successfully recruiting volunteers of all ages to turn up and give a hand with monitoring visits every 3 weeks.
A lot of people say doing volunteering for conservation is all about, you know, the lovely bushes and the beautiful mountains, all that sort of thing. And this Whelan area, to be honest, is not. It's not your usual kind of conservation. It's quite different. So we think there's quite enough people doing a lot of good work in Waitakere. Our dear colleagues and what have you, and volunteers are doing great work. We sort of took on board, like, this is our little kit project, so we want to cultivate it and encourage more people to know about it, and gradually we'll build up more people to restore this Whelan area for us. Just pin it down.
Yes, well, he was one of the leading people to begin the whole thing, and had to do with the fact he was aware of this environment and cared about it very much. So he's very much a foundation member. He's very much been a coordinator and a leader. This island, Traherne Island, is the perfect habitat for fern birds. We've been out here many, many times. We've never heard or seen them. They're not here because of stoats and rats.
The forest and bird volunteers help by placing and checking bait stations and stoat traps. They also remove the weeds and revegetate using eco-source plants. It's a joint project between the Department of Conservation and the New Zealand Transport Agency.
See a little hump of mangroves in the middle there? So you get a brownish little bird. It's a kingfisher. It's got a blue bag. Oh, I think we might got a stoat!
Kent has a degree in e-commerce and works for IT company Data.com. His love for fine wine keeps him working part-time as a bar manager at Sky City's Jade restaurant. But he still manages to make time for voluntary conservation work.
Oh, come on, Chris, you can tell me about a stoat. Kick. That's it.
Looks like they've been at this trap. So
yeah, that's good.
A few missing here. We'll just replace them.
I came here in 1999 to study English because from old memories is that my friends told me the first when I arrived I couldn't even say anything apart from saying yes, thank you, and hello. So I came here to study English, and so during that process, gradually, you sort of just been, I suppose, merged and embraced by the whole culture, and you just feel like become part of it. So, like these days, I like to call myself a Chiwi, which is, you know, a Chinese Kiwi. What we've got here was the stoats was caught 6 weeks ago, and we left the carcass here. The idea was that the smell of the rotten dead stoats will attract more other predators come along, which proves to work.
Or at the other spot over there?
Of course, by doing conservation, you know, contributing things back to the nature, you make you feel more your belongingness to this whole place.
Some may question their methods, as walking about like this can damage the vegetation.
Ideally, it's not a good look, and we don't like it. But in the short term, it's to allow us to get into at least starting dropping some of those predators in the area. But long term, obviously, we'd like to have a boardwalk through this area where we and others locally and visitors can come in and appreciate, enjoy the bird life and everything that the island has to offer without further damaging it.
It's been a challenging morning, but it seems everyone has enjoyed it.
It's just nice to get out sometimes. It doesn't really matter the weather, doesn't matter how, as long as it doesn't go over the top of my gumboots. I don't mind one tromping through the mud, and I hope it's doing some good.
Okay, this one had a little visitor.
So do you think that's just been washed away, or has it been taken?
I think it's been taken, don't you think?
I didn't realise there was so much wildlife so close to the motorway, so yeah, it's a really beautiful spot.
Yes, it's a native vein slip. Yeah, good. It's a good sign.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's probably the heat of your hand, so I wouldn't try to hang on to it for too long. It's suffering, see?
New Zealand being very unique is that you travel very short distance, like what we did today, from this side to the other side, to the middle, to the fort, to the north, to the south. It's completely, I mean, in an hour, 2 hours of walk time, you can completely go through this diversify of the entire ecosystem, which is very hard to find.
If you'd like to become a volunteer, visit the Forest and Bird website.
We'll see you out there from the other side.